This next guy, Playboy magazine just voted the 51st Shade of Grey. He just released an album under new management on iTunes. Check that out. He's a very dear friend of mine, Mr. Matthew Spruill.
What you're doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny.
The blackest music in here for me. How y'all doing? That's all right. We're standing up for downs. We're turning down for what? This is amazing. Okay. I wanted to start, this is a great night, so I did want to start off tonight by telling you guys the same thing that I told my wife on our wedding night. Thank you for coming. And don't worry, my part will be over shortly. I had actually handed, Bill had seen me perform before, and he asked me to hand him my jokes I was going to do tonight because he was going to cross out the ones that I couldn't do. And so I brought him up here to see exactly what he left me with. And we're gonna wing it. I'm from Tulsa, but I work in Oklahoma City because I'm a dumbass. But I have my office right down the street from another dumbass, the Capitol. And I don't know if you guys saw this. She's let her daughter. You know, son of a bitch. She let her daughter put her trailer on the mansion parking lot there for everyone. And so people were asking me out of state, are you guys doing anything about that? And I was honest, I said no. We're actually encouraging her to put a lot more on there because maybe the tornadoes will strike there first. So, you'll have to excuse me if I seem a little bit off my game tonight. I'm kind of tired. My wife and I were up late last night. I was on my iPad doing research, and she was reading this book, and she kept looking over me, just kind of sizing me up, and I didn't know what she was reading, and she just kept looking at me all weird. And I finally just looked at her. I said, what is this book you're reading, this gray? What is this shades thing? What is... And when I finally came to, I was just, how can I woke up with boxers in my mouth. They weren't even mine. No, but I kept them. They were designed. I kept them. You'd have kept them. I kept them. So, are y'all having a good time tonight? You guys do anything fun this evening? You're looking at me like, I thought this was it. It's down the street with the peaks. Great news. This year, I've celebrated a monumental milestone. My credit score finally caught up with the price of gas. That was pretty cool. Looking good in the Spruill household. But I turned 40 years old for the first time. 40 years old this year. Oh, yeah. And I've learned a couple things. I look at things a little bit differently than a lot of people at 40 years old. I interpret things a little bit differently. For instance, I'm like every other man, I am a huge fan of yoga pants. Right? I'm just not a fan of huge yoga pants. I just draw the line. I'm also trying to be politically correct. I said the word midget the other day, and someone corrected me. That was wrong. I said, what's it supposed to be? And someone said dwarf, and I said, no, I'm pretty sure there's more than 7 of them. So then someone said little people, and I was like, I'm fine with that, little people. But the thing I just wanted to know is whenever they go, their kids get in trouble and go to school, and the guidance counselor talks to them, is it okay to say, it's all right, they're going to grow out of it? I say things that give me long rides home. but I'm not from here. I'm originally from Kansas, and okay, you've never been there then. Now, things happen differently in Kansas. When you're born and raised in Kansas, you're raised either one of two ways, Christian or Democrat. I was a disappointment. But when I first came here, and you guys say things differently also, I learned this when I came here, and I went to a gas station. I was trying to find Muskogee, and he said I was going to get there about as fast as I would going to Miami. But when I started talking to him, this guy, when I started talking to him, I said, he looked at me and goes, "You ain't from around here, is you?" I said, "No, I is not." "What was your first clue? Was it my teeth or grammar?" He said, "I don't know, I ain't ever met your grammar." Sure, his is lovely. The weather is fun. How about this weather? Right? Sucks. But I got a sinus infection the other day. You all ever got a sinus infection before? Depression? Just, yeah, everybody's nodding their heads. Screw this state. But I got a sinus infection the other day, and I couldn't find anything to do. I was looking at this stuff you do, little, shoot up in your nose, stuff like, because I made a fart noise, right? It's always the older people that laugh at the fart jokes. But I couldn't find anything in those. So I looked around in the bathroom as long as I could, and I saw something in the shower that I guess belonged to my wife. And it had a pump on it. And of course the applicator stretched the shit out of my nostril. But once I got that thing to work, I was breathing clearer than a summer's eve. I'll tell you guys that right there. I guess the French word for nasal spray is douche. It's douche. Smelling roses for a week. I have certain mannerisms, I guess, that make my wife think certain things about me. I will tilt my head a certain way and just act a little, I guess she called it flamboyant. And it gave her pause one time because we were driving with our kids, and they were ours, and we were driving. Well, you got to check these days. Kids are just pro. Mister, take us a written. Okay, that's fine. But that's a felony, I found out. So we're driving along, and she looks at me in front of our kids, and she goes, "I am just so worried that one of these days you're going to come out of the closet and divorce me." In front of the kids. And so I said, "No." I'm not going to divorce you. She gets upset because I will go to these shows. She doesn't like me touring by myself because I go to these shows and I always get hit on afterwards by men. And I tell her there's nothing to worry about. I mean, this one guy came up to me afterwards. He's like, "Hey, you want to go for a ride with me in my hybrid?" I said, "Bitch, please, a hybrid? Are you kidding me?" But I had a problem one time. I was actually once almost accidentally gay. Let me explain. I had taken my wife to a concert, and it was a Maroon 5 concert. Yeah, some of you know, and if you don't know, 2 words about Maroon 5, Adam Levine. I didn't know, and I didn't know I was on the fence. But being a good husband, Being a good husband, I knew if I took her to this, I'd get laid. So, yeah, because Adam Levine does that. It's lay music for the lay person. Think that at home and tell me if it works out. But I didn't notice, and I had never been there before. So we get there to this concert, and the music comes on, and here's what was going on. Let me make sure I got everything queued up right.
You are a beautiful bald.
That's not the right one. That's not the son of a. No. Some of you have motivational tapes, and I've been listening. Screw y'all. I'm gonna. So on the outside, this is what's going on. Oh my God, can we just leave it? I'm glad you're having a good time. This is the most stupidest thing I've ever been in. I don't know why I'm here. Stupid. I'm glad we had an opener. But on the inside, this is what's going on.
My mind's telling me no. But my body telling me yes. I don't want to hurt nobody, but there is something that I must confess.
And that's my Maroon 5 joke, everybody, right there. I have fun doing it. It sucks that it really happened, but I was long car rides home. I was driving the other day, and have you all seen these billboards that they got along our highways? It's got a young, and I said attractive one time, and then I got arrested, but it's a young woman in her teens, and it says, she's somebody's daughter. You seen that? For human trafficking, she's like a teenager. And I go, that's true, but this is Oklahoma. She's probably somebody's mother as well. I expected to turn 10 of you against me, but not the whole damn lot. Wow.
That wasn't Arkansas?
People, I don't want to talk bad about Arkansas because, Diana was talking about online dating, and I wanted to point out to you guys, have you seen that their dating site just hit number 1, Ancestry.com? Number one. Number one. Arkansas is the place dreams are made of, if you dream in deliverance. But I saw another billboard on my drive, and I was driving with a bunch of women from work, which is, you shouldn't do it. And driving with them, and I saw a billboard that said, women can do anything men can do. And my dumb ass said, yeah, well, men can do anything that women can do. And then someone handed me a tampon. Game over, man. All right, I'm down to my last bit here, so I want you all to follow me with this, but I'm at that age right now where a doctor says I have to go to a certain specialist. And it's my first time, so I just wanted a semi-colonoscopy, but I didn't know where to find one, so I dug deep in the phone book, and I finally found one. His name was Dr. Burroughs, and I went there to go see him, and I go walking in. It looks like they're running behind. Well, actually, they're running a lot of behinds. And I was sitting down with a bunch of guys, and I didn't know if I should get to know them or not, but I didn't want to penetrate too deep, and so I just decided to turn the other cheeks, and so the guy came out, and he introduced himself to me. He said I cracked him up, and I could tell after talking to this guy, he's the kind of dude that doesn't have a whole lot of friends, but a ton of enemas. And we get back there, and he starts looking, and I hate when he gets a camera out because the guy's got tunnel vision. I mean, he uses a wide angle lens. I mean, the tripod tickles. But we got done, and as soon as I got home, I got that phone call you never want to get from your proctologist. He said, I can't find my wedding ring. And I said, well, didn't you wear gloves? He goes, gloves are a pain in the ass. I said, well, tell me about it. He goes, I don't know what to tell my wife. I said, you tell her that this too shall pass. Hey, everybody, I'm Matthew Spruill. Thank you.
Keep it going for Matthew Spruill.